lifted up some more takeaways as I was reading, but I'm probably not gonna get into all that. We'll see if it comes up. If it comes up, it comes up. But let's go with what we had already lifted up and what I already wrote down and thought about. Um, so the I used to think that this word was pronounced Tao. It looks like Tao, but inside the book, Michael Singer puts in parentheses pronounced Tao. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Um, or The Way is a treatise that outlines life's basic principles. Um, it's given simply, unlike spiritual teachings that sometimes use language that's so lofty and mystical that it seems inaccessible to access these kinds of things. Um, and the the Tao invites us not just to explore extremes on each spectrum, but in all the nuances in between. Um, my notes on this is that like we often think in duality, dichotomies, black or white, this or that, right? But y'all know if y'all been here with me when we've played the Would You Rather game, I tend to give an extreme, like would you rather this extreme or that extreme, and then we get into these conversations that dabble and dance in between all the nuance, and that just proves that choosing one extreme is not always easy as selecting what you're going to get from the menu when you're going out to the restaurant, and and sometimes even that embodies various nuance. You know what I'm saying? Substitution here. I would like to have rice instead of fries, or I'd like to have sweet potato fries instead of white potato fries. You know what I'm saying? Like one person gets their steak raw, someone else gets it well done. Nevertheless, they're still consuming a steak on various parts of the spectrum, right? What's your oh wow for a juice, or you just commenting? The Tao is in the middle. It's not one extreme or the other. I love how he said being out of balance is like being out of the way, and that is, it's we've come up with these slang terms, and a lot of times these slang terminologies I feel like serve like right. Didn't you think it was Tao? Up until every day, not every day, but every time I saw that word, up until I read this book, I thought it was pronounced not like that. Anyway, the things that we say in our like slang speech, like that's in the way, or you're in the way, or you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're in the way of the way. You got to get out the way because you're block. This whole situation is blocking the way. Anyway, um, balance and harmony is about a blending of the awe and honoring of how those blends may fluctuate. So this example made me think about conscious eating, and how the conscious eating only requires you to listen to your body, know when your body needs to eat, and know what your body needs for its optimal vitality, which could be different from what my body might need. Um, the reason why I think this example came to me is because, um, uh huh, yeah, um, I think that this example made me think about how it's kind of like opposite, it's antithesis of modern society, which modern society has thrived on capitalism, and capitalism needs people to buy unconsciously. Okay, so think about how much food waste builds because people buy and order more food than what they need or can want to be able to eat. They buy more than what they can eat, or buy more than what can be eaten before it goes bad. Things get wasted. So conscious eating allows one to gain control over more than just their eating habits, but also their overall lifestyle, such as spending. So you see how now there's like this snowball effect into how it impacts other areas of life. If you're only eating enough when you need it, you'll only begin to buy more when you need it. You know, one of my sisters from college shared with us how she goes to the market every day. And people were like, why do you do that? Why don't you just do a mass shop for the week? Because that's normal, right? Right. And she said that I don't. She said she don't know what she's gonna want to eat each day, so she lets her body tell her, and then goes to the market to get what she eats. That's kind of an example of a conscious eating habit. And it, of course, also is there's nuance within that. There's an extreme there. So now she's going to the market every day, right? So now there's another layer of extreme, and then she gets to play around with that balance. Imagining instead of it being a supermarket, imagine if it was the farmers market. So you're not supporting so much capitalism, but you're more so supporting local merchants. Then imagine if it wasn't the farmers market. Imagine if that was your own garden. Now you really have mastered conscious eating because now you know what your body needs. You can grow it. You can go get it and harvest it as you need it. So that's an example. One of many examples of how to apply this to life. Let me know if that's landing for y'all. Using energy to maintain extremes presents forward motion because all the energy is being used to maintain the extreme. The quote he said was, the more extreme you are, the less forward movement there is. That's on page 168. Um, think of all the different ideas we may hold. Um, think of all the different ideas that we may hold that are on the extreme of an issue. All the things that we say that we would never do or always do, no matter what. I'm going to put myself on a spotlight here. I don't like to leave my home without making sure that the dishes in the kitchen are washed and without making sure that the bathroom is like reset. Like I don't want it to look like I just got finished like doing all the things, like getting ready, because I want it to be right for me to walk in and use it fresh when I get home. But so, right, it could be that I say, yeah, I don't never leave my house without my dishes washed. I always clean the bathroom before I leave home, right? And then what happens when I'm running late? And I gotta be somewhere because this ceremony is starting and I need to be there and I need to be there on time. Do you think I'm going to take that extra few minutes to finish cleaning the bathroom? No, it has to wait till I get home I've gone into a different extreme of time management and now I'm about to be late whether I clean up or not. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave now so I can be on time as opposed to even though I always clean the bathroom before I leave the crib, right? Okay, Mr. Hush, welcome back. He just clocked out and he's washing dishes, aka loading the dishwasher, which is your version of washing dishes. It's on one. It's the nuance in one extreme, right? Right? It's the nuance in between one of these extremes. So you are washing dishes. Absolutely, you are. Where am I? Energy can't move you in the Tao. It's focused on maintaining extremes. So remember, we're not trying to figure out where not to walk so that we can walk there. We're trying to figure out where not to walk so we can stay in the center. Getting wrapped up in the extremes and identifying with them is what causes confusion. I love when he said that. It's not because life is confusing, it's because you're confused. And that's a choice. You can choose to unconfuse yourself. Okay? Is that it? You can choose to unconfuse yourself. Is that it? I want to see if there's any more there. Yes, remaining stuck in those ways does not allow room for exploration, expansion, or growth. Well, I've been doing this for all these years and I ain't never gonna. Okay, that's your right. It's your life and your prerogative. But remaining stuck in certain ways is not going to allow room for exploration, expansion, or growth if that is what you also would like to have in your life. I think considering this is more challenging the more that we increase in our biological age. Honestly, and depending on how strongly you believe to the ideas and beliefs that condition us in childhood. So this is the full circle moment that comes back to what I was speaking about earlier about the mind, the soil of the child's mind is very fertile. It's ready to be reproductive. It's ready to be productive and to reproduce more thought seeds that follow after its own kind. What do you mean when you say that, City? I mean, if I plant tomato seeds, I'm going to get tomatoes. I'm not going to plant tomato seeds and get cucumbers. So, the seeds that we plant or that are planted within us in terms of what to think, how to think, what to believe, who to believe, we've been reproducing them in various ways. And some of those ways we tend to get stuck in. The things I would never do or always do. Uh-uh. You know what I'm saying? And it tends to be more challenging to get out of those because we've been operating on that program for so long and it has become our normal. All right. So that's that, young scraps. Thank you so much for listening to today's discussion. Again, here are our discussion questions. What's coming up for you? Are there extremes that you hold on to that you can explore releasing? Do you often feel confused about things? How can understanding the Tao support you? And where are you seeking more balance? How can the Tao support you in this? Again, feel free to answer questions here in the chat or just on your own. This is your own personal self reflection. I'm just grateful that you are here on the journey with me, allowing me to be on your journey with you. Thank you so much for today's discussion. Thank you so much for vibing. If you like this and you want more, you want to connect with more people who are on the same vibe, don't forget to do the things that people do so we can stay connected. All right, much love. I love you.